Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the boiler room. And you can see I'm wearing the fedora because it is Monday and I am looking very good. I'm feeling good. Things are starting off great. If you ask me, money is starting to pile back into the penny stock world. That's what I meant. So for those of you, yes, I have my coffee. Michael, so good morning to everybody. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm glad to have you here. If you're not familiar with what we do, very quickly, we do a pre-market watch list every morning, trying to find some of the best stocks that are moving in the morning. That way we can have the best opportunity to make some money. And I try to present that to you as best as I can and as transparently as I can without any BS. Okay, so the money seems to be kind of moving into the penny. Not that it is for sure, but this is the first morning that I've seen on my gap scanner where I've seen low float stocks on the top of the list. Everything's been 100 million, billion, just red, meaning high float. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been very high float and money's been in the bigger cap stocks. And now it seems as if the money has kind of shifted a little bit because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 low float stocks, 5, 6 medium float stocks on the top of the list and no big floats. So it appears that maybe some of the money is kind of shifting around now to the penny stocks. So no further ado, we're going to get into it. And we are going to start off with TOPS, DCIX, and then I'll run you through some of my other ones on watch. But money's to be made today, ladies and gentlemen, and I am going to start sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, let me hide that. All right, cool. So let's just start. We'll start here with TOPS. Reason being is this one's a little bit lower price, and I think it's going to be pretty affordable for a lot of people. So let me remove all these drawings first. Now, something I do want to note is a lot of people are like, oh, well, why to make this big move? There could have been a number of things. I don't even know if it had news. I was really not even focused on the stock. Yeah, so they got halted, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So this is a shipping company, right? This is a shipping company, and DCIX is also a shipping company, okay? A lot of times you'll see shipping companies follow in suit, like they hold hands with one another and kind of just do the same thing. And so you've seen this had a big move Friday. DCIX had a big move Friday. They're both shipping container companies, whatever. So pre-market, TOPS is moving. It has strong volume. Note, TOPS only has a 144 share float. Or sorry, 144,000 share float. So it's a very low float. So TOPS can move very fast, as you could see it did here on Friday, just skyrocketed. So take a note of that. This thing can move very fast. It can be very risky. Come big reward. So what we have to note here is that the stock is making lower highs. So we have here 1, 2, and soon to be probably 3. So what's that telling us is that we have a trend that it's following. It's kind of going upward. So the trend is like this. That is our trend. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so we have higher lows, so the trend is going up right now, and we are putting in kind of new highs. We're more or less just kind of flat topping right now. So really what we're doing is setting up for an ascending triangle. This is setting up for an ascending triangle breakout. So what we're going to want to see here within the next probably 5 or 10 minutes is we're going to want to see this pop to the upside. So what we have to think here is we have resistance at 132, the previous high of day. It's possible that if TOPS runs, we're going to see a resistance here at $1.32. You could say you might sit here at $1.27, but that's probably very unlikely. So first things first, TOPS has to first break out to the upside. If it comes closer to the bell and it ends up breaking this trend line, we're probably going to see it fade out for the day. It's possible it'll have a red to green move and pick back up, but it's very most likely if it breaks this trend line here, we're going to see it fade out to the downside. What we really want to see happen with TOPS is we want to see it break out to the upside and continue running. Okay, so the entry on TOPS is probably going to be somewhere around the $1.10 area. Over $1.10, you'll probably see this thing run to the upside, okay? So TOPS is going to be on watch for a breakout above $1.10, and then we might have some resistance up here in the $1.32 area, okay? And just that alone is going to be a 16 to 22% winner, right? That's pretty big. You can make a solid amount of money there. So once again, TOPS is on watch. It just needs to hold up. It looks like it might be getting a little weak. So look at it right here. It's kind of fading out. We want to see this pick back up. Now, over to DCIX. And again, you have to be very careful with these because since they're such low floats, they move so fast and they can be halted on circuit breaker halts very, very quickly, okay? All right. You guys remember this one from Friday? Yeah, everybody knows this one. The whole world, guys, the whole world is watching DCIX right now. This thing is probably going to be insane today. Does that mean you should trade it? No. So listen very carefully when I say this, and I'll even recap this, but listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. DCIX has like a 250,000 share float. So what's that mean for you guys? And for me? Well, not necessarily me, but what it means is you can have a hard time getting filled on your orders. You can have a hard time selling your orders. Okay, so you can have a hard time getting filled. You could have a hard time getting selling your orders. And for some of you, yeah, DCIX unsupported today. Okay, so like look at you guys. You're all banking, right? So a lot of you guys are going to be watching DCIX today. Here's the thing. It's got a 250 million share float. It just went through a reverse split. When reverse splits happen, it shows weakness in a stock. So a lot of people were looking to short DCIX Friday. They did, and then they got squeezed out. They kept getting squeezed out. They squeezed harder. Then momentum picked up, and it just drove the price through the roof. And look what's happening right now. It's the same thing. This thing failed to break down through $10. Shorts are getting squeezed out. People are piling in. So what I'm just basically going to recap here is it's a 250,000 share float. Actually, 252,000 share float to be exact. This means it's going to move fast. You could see circuit breaker halts. You can see, for whatever reason, it's possible that the SEC temporarily bans trading on DCIX until they prove some type of like relevant information as to why the stock is moving. So this is going to be the reverse split already happened, Shaquille. The reverse split already happened, so you don't have to worry about that. What you need to know is that the float is so low, it moves very fast. It's a very risky stock, and there's tons of money to be made, but you could also experience lots of circuit breaker halts today. You could experience the SEC temporarily halting any trading activity on DCIX until they prove some type of paperwork or legitimacy to back its recent moves. But everybody knows this is just a short squeeze and a momentum driver, and it appears that it's going to be doing a multi-day runner. I would not be surprised if DCIX breaks through $20. With all that being said, that does not mean you should trade the stock. I'm just simply telling you that the whole world is watching DCIX right now, okay? This move here yesterday made millionaires probably. I'm sure there's people that made $400,000 or $500,000 yesterday. It wouldn't surprise me. Or not, what am I talking about? I'm sure people made hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So after that spiel, what you need to consider is we clearly have a resistance at $20. That is the resistance. People are like, oh, well, we still have a lot of dollars to go to get there. Not really. This thing has already moved from 9 to 15 pre-market. Over here, these candles were going in dollar increments, 70-cent increments, dollar increments, okay? So Z, yeah, you're probably right, DCX to the moon. If this continues like this, we're going to see this ramp up really hard, and this thing is going to trade on tons of volume, okay? It's going to be insane. So what I'm really looking to do is if this thing holds up, okay, we're seeing it's got higher lows, right? So it's tapped out at about $16. It's pretty close to a tap out at 16, and it's pulling back. So I would not mind to see this consolidate. I really just want to see this kind of consolidate and do this, right? I just want to see this right now. I just want to see it kind of just hang out around this area and then I want to see it kind of break out above 16, and then I could hop in and then look for a move towards the 17 to the $20 mark. It's very hard to tell exactly what's going to happen to this. It's very hard to tell exactly what's going to happen with this because there's so much emotion revolving around this stock, okay? Imagine this. Imagine if you took a short position, right, and then you held over the weekend, right? What's going to happen come pre-market? What's going to happen when the stock opens up? There's going to be a lot of people trying to cover their short position, and then it'll cause it to squeeze. So right out of the gates, we might see this stock really squeeze out, and we might see a really big move to the upside. But it's very risky, and it's not forming a gap and go strategy. It's not forming right now. There's no telling which way it's going to go. It appears that it's going to go up, obviously, but you have to be very cautious, very, very cautious, right? It hasn't really put in any big lows. I mean, this is the first low that's really put in, right? Which was like right here. That's like the first low that it's actually I have to zoom out 1 second. This is the trend line that it's following right now, if it holds up. It hasn't really put in a significant low. It really hasn't, right? So it's just kind of going straight up. It hasn't experienced any pullback. So it's hard to say. You might see it squeeze, you might see it dump, but definitely keep DCIX on your watch list today, okay, guys? It's definitely worth being there, but be very cautious if you're planning on trading it. For some of you, it may not be tradable just because you're trading on Robinhood. I will come back to DCIX in a little bit. Mark, let's look at TXMD because that is on my watch list. Okay, so TXMD popped up to $9.50. There was some news regarding the pop to $9.50, something about, I don't know, maybe like a new drug, or I don't even really care what the news is. But it sounded like it's kind of fluff news to me. So it popped up to 9, came all the way back down to 5. This could be a potential short, but I don't think it's really going to move back down to 4. I think more or less it already broke down primarily everything that it was going to do. So it's possible that we could see this move down to a little bit lower. Here's the thing. I will keep TXMD on watch for a short position out of the gates. If it fails to break back above 6, I'll probably look for a move or a short position down to 5. DRLYS is probably moving because of DCIX. I do care about news, right? Mr. Recon, I do care about news. I pay attention to news all the time. I just don't really, I mean, you see it all the time. It's like you understand that it has news, and you can kind of differentiate between what's really good news and what's not. If the news they had was good and really good, their stock would have went up to 9.5 and held. It wouldn't have come back down. So with that being said, I'll probably look for maybe a short. So I want to see if TXMD can hold this, hold below 6, then I'll probably look for a short down to 5. That's what I'll probably be doing. If it breaks above 6, then I won't even short it. I'll just leave it alone. But if it continues to fade out, I'll maybe look for shorts all the way down to the $6 mark. Yeah, you can make $80 a day with the, yeah, that's very possible. Now, the other one I want to talk about that I have on watch, I have 2 more on watch. JUNO, okay, let's look at this. Look at the daily chart on here. You'll see that JUNO put in a huge big green day, and then it just had a red day. All right, so this could be signaling that it's going to come down a little bit. So I'm literally looking to watch. I'm watching JUNO for a short position. It's a little extended from the 9 moving average, so it could be a great opportunity to take a short position. If you look at the daily chart, actually more like, sorry, if you look at the, we'll just do this. We'll look at this 5-day chart. And you'll see that it ramped up, and then all of a sudden, instead of going higher, right? So here's the thing, is it went up so high that I actually tried to short it this day, lost a little bit of money. A bunch of people tried to short it this day and lost out because it ended up coming back up and popping up to 161. But if you notice, it's starting to fade out. So we're probably coming down the backside, and today is going to be a fade day. We're probably going to see this short out at the beginning of the day. So I'll be looking to short JUNO down. It's hard to say exactly how far I'll be looking to short it, but I'll probably be looking to take a position around the $59 mark, $58 mark. It's really hard to say exactly right now because it doesn't have any chart pattern. It's just kind of a couple hash marks. But just so you know, keep JUNO on watch for a short today. One-day trading. Yeah, working. Well, in my chat room, I call out almost. I mean, I basically call out every single trade I take. When I enter, when I exit, when I take 75% of my shares off the table, when I enter half. I mean, yeah, I really do. Yeah, I guess to answer that question, yeah. So let me take a look at this last one, which is QCOM. Ooh, look at this one, big monster. So this one's a $65 a share stock. If you can't trade it, I do apologize. But here's the thing, right? It has a clear resistance here at $65. The stock is approaching $65 right now. It has news of a possible merger deal, I believe. Is that what it was? Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I mixed that up with something else. Oh, okay. So Broadcom proposes to buy Qualcomm for $103 billion. Shares were expected to go to, was it like $80 or something like that? I don't know. But anyways, expected to go to 70 per share. So there's news of Qualcomm getting bought out for $103 billion. We have a double tap right here. We have a double tap at $65 from the previous day, Friday, and pre-market today. So this tells me that there's resistance at 65. If the stock fails to break through 65, you could look at a short, but if it breaks out of 65, this could be a nice run up to the $70 mark. Okay, if we break over 65, we're probably going to head towards $70. And as you can see, it looks like it's going to do that. It looks like it's trying to break out of $65 right now. Okay, a buyout. The chat room, the chat room will be open pretty soon. Like I said, there's just a lot that I'm doing with it right now. I'll touch on it here in a second. So honestly, that's all I have for you guys this morning. I'm not going to fill up your minds with 1,000 different stocks, right? That's not my goal. Yeah, it's not my goal to fill up your guys' heads with 1 billion different stocks. So, you know, DCIX, TOPS, probably going to be some winners today. QCOM is a $65 stock that I just covered. If it breaks out of 65, I have strong conviction you can see it run to 70, so $5 a share. JUNO, JUNO's had a really big recent day on Thursday. Friday put in its first red candle on the daily chart. With that being said, if you look at like a 5-day chart or even like a 2 or 3-day chart, you'll notice that it kind of went up and then it rallied, kind of had like a rough day. So the way that I think about these is like after you see a stock go up, 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 and then all of a sudden it kind of has a rally day where it's back and forth, but not really going higher, not really going lower, just kind of like consolidation after a big run up. That kind of signals that we've kind of gone up the front side of the mountain. We're at the summit going back and forth, and now we're probably going to take a dip down the back side of the mountain, okay, before maybe picking back up. So it's never a guarantee, but that's the way I envision it, is like once we go up and then we have a rally day where we go back and forth and it's indecision, you'll usually see like a big green. If you look at the daily chart, you usually see like a big green candle, and then you'll see like a little red candle, whether it's a hanging man candle or some type of red candle. You might see another obviously red candle, just because once you go up, you see inconsidered consolidation. It's kind of like you went up the front side of the mountain, now you're coming down the back side of the mountain. So JUNO, potential short. QCOM, potential long over 65. If it doesn't break 65, could be a potential short. So QCOM over 65. JUNO, it's hard to determine the short entry on that one because it's all over the place right now. So maybe around 68 or below 67. It's hard to say, but JUNO's on watch for short. QCOM on watch for short below 65, long above, or yeah, short below 65, long above 65. DCIX, I couldn't really give you an entry. The thing goes crazy. So what you have to pay attention there is for bullish confirmation of a trend going up, and then you have to kind of identify whether it's a bullish pennant, a bull flag, or just some type of bullish pattern occurring while watching your level 2 to determine price actions going up. TOPS may be setting up for a flat top breakout. And that's TXMD may be short below $6 if it holds that $6 level. Now, with that being said, you're going to hear me talk here for just a second. I want to recap. DCIX can be extremely risky to trade today, so you have to be very careful. It has more than the opportunity to skyrocket. It really does. It's the perfect storm to have a huge dramatic move to the upside. But with that being said, you could experience a lot of circuit breaker halts, right? That they happen, and that could be very risky. So you don't want to get caught in too many circuit breaker halts. So it could have circuit breaker halts. It could be halted for the trading day, so it can be very risky. So obviously you're trading at your own expense and your own risk right now. Look at DCIX is almost at 17 now. I didn't even know that, right? So be careful trading today. Make sure you have good entries, just the whole 9, right? And then the chat room, like I said, the course is coming along nicely. Everything is going as planned. I'm taking slow steps because I want it to be perfect. The chat room will be great. It is going to take a lot of manpower. I don't want to say manpower, but it's going to take a lot of energy and time in order to manage the amount of people that are going to come in there, because I'm not going to let this chat room get filled up with nonsense. So I'm taking a long time setting it up with the correct channels and making sure there's instructional videos on how to use a chat room, how to use my course, in that way, so things just don't get all crazy and all messed up like some of the chat rooms out there. We want it to be nice and pretty, so everything's going smoothly. The doors will be open to everyone soon, and we're just going from there, right? So anyways, so that's all I got for you guys today. So I will keep you guys posted on the chat room, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the pre-market watches for the boiler room. And so just be patient with your trades. Don't get crazy with them, and go from there. All right, guys, take care.